The union budget should look to keep the target GDP, India's GDP growth at 6.5-7%. That should be the key focus for the government. Stocks can invest into real estate. If real estate gains, capital gains, could be invested back into equities and stocks. There could be some relief, on account of GST, which is again a union budget, subject, where people are paying stamp duty as well as GST on the under construction properties. So once you have those exemptions, your net outgo will be less towards tax and you will have more disposable income in your hand, which means your ability to pay a higher EMI, and you are able to buy a house with more disposable income in hand. So market has done very well. The demand has been robust over the last 1 year, especially post-pandemic. People have been wanting to upgrade their homes. There has been bit surge, in low-rise homes, bungalows, villas, farmhouses in Delhi, a lot of holiday homes. So we've seen a very good surge and very, very good demand. I think it is time that government gives little bit more sops to the home buyer, and especially in the light of rising home loan rates, interest rates have gone up significantly. So government should do some bit of relaxation on the policy where the rebate on the home loan interest that the buyer is paying and also the principal. If the limit could be increased from 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs, that would be a welcome move. Government has been thinking to do that. I think it is high time they should do it, and we are quite hopeful that in this budget, these kind of announcements will be made. So today, whatever you earn, as a taxpayer, if you take a home loan and your home loan today gives you a 2 lakh rupees rebate on the principal as well as on the interest repayment that you do to a bank. So once this limit is raised, let's say from 2 lakhs to a 5 lakhs or a 7 lakhs, you would end up having more, non-taxable income, more rebates. So once you have those exemptions, your net outgo will be less towards tax and you will have more disposable income in your hand, which means your ability to pay a higher EMI, and you are able to buy a house with more disposable income in hand. There are a few things that government should should do in that parlance. So one, making the industry more transparent, where there is more digitization of data. So the title checks and balances become easy for people to come and invest, and they could invest and then exit after a few years. There is no long drawn issues or disputes around the title checks because of lack of digitization. That becomes an issue and not such an attraction for investor. The second point is also today the kind of sops government gives on investing into financial assets. For instance, you stay put for 2 years, it becomes a long-term capital gain, and you reinvest that capital gain and you save taxes. So there are much more sops in financial assets than real estate. In real estate also, government gives more sops for people to invest, and the gains which are coming out of real estate investments, those could be invested not just in real estate but also other asset classes. Just like equity and stocks can invest into real estate, if real estate gains, capital gains, could be invested back into equities and stocks. So that is something that could be a good move up, by the government. Government has already done something very interesting for them, which is under section 54F. The long-term capital gain arising out of any stake sale by a startup founder or going public, coming out with IPO. So all the monies that they get, that qualifies under Section 54F to be reinvested into real estate. So a lot of sales that you must have seen over the last few years by these startup founders buying real estate, and not just real estate in the 10-20 crore range, but also much more expensive. We've seen 50 crore, 100 crore, 150 crore transactions where people just came and plowed back there, invested their 54F capital gains into the market, and they've saved, huge taxes to the tune of 28.5% until last year on those investments. So I think government has done a very good work on that piece already. As a wish list, I would say that government should, the union budget should look to keep the target GDP, India's GDP growth at 6.5-7%. That should be the key focus for the government. Once, this is the year when a lot of economies may face recession, as is being talked about. But India, if is able to deliver 6.5-7% GDP growth, that will be a very good achievement for us. So for that, government must do some announcements around the FDI inflows, as well as capital investment by the industry within the sectors where India sees good GDP growth. Housing sector is an important sector. It supports over 200 ancillary industries. So this being an important sector, if government can keep the housing demand intact by giving more soaps to the home buyers and to the industry. So home buyers, as I already covered, should be given more taxes and more relaxation around the taxes, which is interest as well as home loan repayment. There could be some relief, on account of GST, which is again a union budget, subject, where people are paying stamp duty as well as GST on the under construction properties. So somebody paying both becomes a little bit of a burden on the home buyer. So that is again my wish list for the government.